Hey everybody, I'm just standing here pondering my new native tank here that I've begun working on. I'm trying to get the scape sorted out, and I've been looking at this piece of wood, so I decided I would just shoot a little video and just sort of think out loud and share a little bit of my thought process with you about how I'm getting this tank set up. A lot of you have mentioned this piece of wood since it's been in there. I've shot a few videos of it. A couple people are talking about this as though it's already a permanent fixture in the tank and how I should position it. I honestly don't even know if this piece of wood's going to stay in the tank. It's for now, it's something big and bold and dramatic, and it's just kind of there to give me inspiration. I've been thinking a lot about what I want this tank to look like for the last, well, honestly, I've been thinking about this tank a lot for several months. And one of the things that has always crept into the back of my mind and I've always sort of secretly wanted to do and thought would be great inspiration would be, if you're familiar with my outdoors videos, I know a lot of you don't watch those, but for those of you who do, and I suppose I can explain for those of you who don't, where I go hiking and kayaking and boating, usually around Pretty Boy Reservoir, but pretty much anywhere you go around here, the Patapsco River, even the Susquehanna, just this part of the world has a certain sort of look and feel to it, the bones of the earth, so to speak. And when I'm at the reservoir in particular, the way the rock structure is set up, you can often see where over the years, and I mean long years, the rocks have crumbled and fallen and slid. And when you see certain parts of the reservoir, you will see these sort of rock slides that go down into the water. And then what you get on top of that is trees that stand near the shore will fall. And the root mass stays on the ground or up top as the tree falls down into the water, and it gets deep very quickly. So the whole top end of the tree gets submerged, and what you wind up with is this sort of root ball sticking up. And it looks odd. It's most people think of a root mass in their aquarium as the roots being down, and I guess you would imagine something like a flooded forest or something, or where the tide has come in over mangrove roots. But most people don't think about a tree being upside down in the water, and that's what I really think I'm going for in this tank. I think I'm going to try to work something like that out. Here you can see I've rolled the log over. It's in a different position now, just ever so slightly. I just basically took it and rolled it that way about a third of a turn, and it just gives us a different look and feel, a different texture to it. If we come down this way, we can now see through there, but you can also see how it's dark and shadowy in this cave area, and I can well imagine fish sort of drifting in and out of the shadows and into the bright light. And again, it's just something, food for thought and some ideas. So what I'm thinking about now is having kind of some taller rock structure on this end and have it sort of shelving down as we get down over here with plenty of little caves. Again, I'm not going to be able to do this completely naturally. There's always, the nature is my inspiration. It's not my blueprint. I can't just dump a big pile of rocks in there the way they might have out in the real world. But I can stack them in such a way that gives the impression of that and still serves the function and purpose that I want. I want habitat, I want water flow, I want visual appeal, so on and so forth. I got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing aesthetically with it, but it's all going to be inspired by what I see out in the real world. So if we can get some sort of sloping rock kind of structure here, we can then do what I want. Forget this log, not even in there. And I can find a smaller tree with the root mass facing this way, and then the bole of the tree coming down and laying across the rocks as though the tree fell into the water and is now lying this way with the roots up at this end. And then down here, once we've gotten into what we'll call the bottom of the lake where the rock slide has ended, then maybe we could do something like this log simply lying across the bottom, or maybe lying sideways in here, half cupped this way or whatever. There's lots and lots of different options of things to do. But again, this is just part of my process. I'm just sort of here kind of tossing ideas around my head. When I rolled the log over, I elevated it a little bit. The tip of it is actually sticking up out of the water ever so slightly. I don't have a lot of room between the glass hood and the surface of the water, but the log is up and actually out of the water right there. So again, nothing specific on this video, just thinking out loud, just trying to get some ideas of how I want this to look. The rock collecting is going to be the big next step. We've got some really rainy, foul weather over the next couple of days, so I'm kind of stuck in the house, and that's why I'm just sort of standing here, well, just sitting and thinking. I'm just looking at the tank and just letting ideas roll around my head. But I think that's where we're probably going to wind up going with in this direction. Some sort of more upright rocks to give me some structure, and then some more flat shelving rocks to come down this way. Something similar might be thought of like this, only on a slightly larger scale, and rather than have separate pieces, we're going to start higher and then come down more angled and have it look more like a slide has fallen rather than these being jutted up. With this, the impression I went with was the shelving rock being shoved upwards by these rocks coming up out of the ground. So that's the feel I went with in this tank. So we're going to go with something similar in the new tank, but I think we're going to go more with a natural look of what a rock slide would look like down into a deep lake or a deep reservoir. So stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss anything coming up with this tank. It's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't even really put a ton of thought into the fish we're going to put in here yet. It's probably going to be just something to get us through the winter. It's a little late in the year to go stocking a native tank, being that it is December tomorrow. So we will do something simple, probably just some sunfish or something over the winter, and then come springtime, the tank will get a whole lot more interesting. So make sure you subscribe, that way you won't miss anything, you won't miss any of the process of getting this tank put together. It should be fun to watch this thing come together. I'm in no hurry, but I am sort of at the same time kind of anxious to get started because I really enjoy this. This is the fun part for me. This is the creative process of putting a beautiful tank together, and it all starts with the planning and the poking and the looking and the rearranging and all of this. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss any of it. Thanks for watching this one, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you real soon on the next one.